What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. And welcome back. Another week of episodes for the Rick and Johnny Game of Thrones reaction. And Johnny,
yes,
holy shit.
Fuck yeah.
Holy shit. Like, this episode was a good episode, but then at the very end, how much good shit did they just throw right at us?
Oh, man, way too much to deal with.
And the one thing I want to get out of the way, obviously, spoilers, bro. Spoilers. So we are going to spoil this episode. If you haven't seen it, click pause. We will be back. We'll be waiting for you. But I want to get right into it. Johnny, yes. The Night King has a dragon.
He has a fucking dragon.
He has a fucking dragon.
Yes.
What? Just game over, bro.
Game over? No, close to.
For Cersei.
For Cersei, yeah, she's fucked.
She's screwed. Because now she doesn't have a dragon. The Night King has a dragon. Daenerys still has two dragons.
She's down to two.
Well, 2 dragons, not 4 dragons. 2 dragons. But how much does this change the game?
A lot. First of all, it's a lot easier to get over the wall now.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier to maybe take down the wall, too.
Or that, possibly.
Could you imagine that fire from the dragon just burning right through the wall?
I don't even know if it's fire.
Oh, that's right. You brought that up. You bring up what you brought up to me right after the episode. Because they didn't hear it. Yeah, I was there.
What was it exactly?
With now that it's a white dragon.
Yeah.
Well, how does the fire? Would the fire still be fire?
The fire still. Is it going to be an ice dragon? Mm-hmm. Is it going to breathe fire? Mm-hmm. And if it's not a fire dragon anymore, it's not breathing fire. Does fire affect it like it does White Walkers?
True. Or is it? Because the Night King has his own special thing.
Yeah.
He just, like today, he just walked right through that fire.
Yeah.
Is it going to, like, we've never seen this in the show.
No.
In the show. We've never seen it. And at this point, it's like, how does this affect a dragon? Because a dragon's different than a human.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, a human gets turned into a White Walker. We know, okay, this is, well, we as watchers, not like everyone in the show, the characters, but we know, okay, this is how it affects a human. But how is this going to affect a dragon? I have no idea. I'm assuming, until proven wrong, I'm just going to assume it breathes fire. That everything stays the same.
Like a blue fire?
Maybe. I don't even know about that.
I wouldn't think
everything stays the same, except it's now on the White Walker side.
The only thing I would think is that it wouldn't breathe fire for the fact that fire destroys White Walkers. The only one that can handle that right now is the Night King. The Night King.
We don't even know, though, if the dragon can have the same powers as the Night King.
Exactly. Oh, you don't know yet. I mean, it's just like if you destroy any of the Night King or any of his men, his actual men, anyone they turned, gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what happens?
Not just that, though. The interesting thing, because now in Dany's mind, we got Dany and Jon talking to each other, and she's like, fuck it, I'm full in. Yep. I am in for the cause. I have seen I've seen A, how many of them there are. B, I've seen what they can do. I'm in.
Also, they took one of her children.
Well, not just that. That's on top of it. But what I was going to say, what I was going to say is there needs to be some strategy, though, because think about this. This is the second time that we've seen a dragon in battle. We saw the dragon burn.
The Lannister army.
Not the Lannister. I'm talking about last episode. We saw them burn Sam's father.
Yeah.
So we got to see the dragon last episode, but in battle, we've only seen it twice.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the second time. And both times, it was basically Dany going, you know what? I got you beat. How are you going to beat a dragon? And I mean, they had the scorpion, which did pierce the dragon. And I guess you can say, well, that's kind of something that could beat the dragon. But the Night King took it a step further.
Oh, yeah.
He basically said,
ice javelin?
Not only is my ice javelin, not only am I a good shot with it, I mean, 50% on the day is pretty good. And the only reason he missed was because Drogon did this. He on moved,
the second one,
and it just missed that dragon. And Joran almost fell off.
Yep.
But the thing where it needs strategy is because not only is he a good aim with that thing is not like the scorpion. The scorpion pierces, and it's like, oh my God, the dragon's just hurt. This thing, it hit the dragon out.
Yeah, no, it was dead.
And I don't know if the dragon died before it impacted or falling into the water also killed it because technically it drowned. But it looked like dead all the way down as soon as it got hit with that spear.
Well, I mean, it cut like right here along. It looked like it cut along the neck.
Yeah.
And you saw fire not come out of its mouth, coming out of its fucking neck like a plane.
Yeah.
It's like a plane going down, just. Then it hit the ice. It was basically dead when it hit the ice.
Yeah. And
going under finished off anything else.
That to me changes the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dany now can't do what she did the last 2 times and just come in with the dragons and think, I have the upper hand.
Yeah.
She can't do it.
And not to mention, like, she can't just like, I mean, there was the idea maybe, she can hover over, like, she can fly over the Night King and just blast him. No, he can deal with that.
I mean, no, that was interesting. What if she would have? Here's the thing I want to.
Just directly hit him.
Here's the thing, and because you mentioned that.
Yeah.
What if she went after him today and just knocked out if she knocked out the guys around him?
Yeah.
Think about this, because I don't know for a fact if they have the same power that the Night King has. You kill those guys. We've already seen in this episode. You kill those lieutenants to the Night King.
Their armies go down.
The guys that they turned die. We saw that today.
The only question is you have to wonder how many of them were turned by the Night King and how many of them were turned by his men.
Of course. Like, you're taking away at least some White Walkers by doing that. Here's the thing I want to ask you, though, and this is kind of looking ahead to next episode with this. They have a White Walker now.
Yes.
We saw in the trailer for the Game of Thrones season finale, the meeting is going to happen between Cersei and Dany. We saw Jon Snow. We saw Tyrion. We saw Jaime. What do you think when Cersei is presented the White Walker and she is looking at him? She's looking like they made the joke afterwards, like we stabbed it. We stabbed it through the chest.
Yeah, I mean they dropped it on the dragon to
make sure it didn't fall out.
Yeah, that was the main idea with it. But it's
smart.
It was
smart, making sure we don't want that thing to fall off.
Well, because they can concentrate on themselves staying on the dragon.
Yeah, but also because this is the most important thing that we need to bring to
exactly.
If we don't have this, then we lost 2 guys for nothing.
3, technically, at first.
Yeah, for nothing.
Exactly.
And what I want to ask you is, what do you think Cersei's reaction is going to be when she actually sees the White Walker next week?
I think part of her is going to realize that this shit's actually happening, but with her Cersei self, she's not going to admit it. She's going to still like be Cersei. She's not going to back down. She's not going to say, "Oh yeah, no. Yeah, this is more important." No,
I don't know what's going to happen.
I
truly don't.
Here's what I'm going to...
Because she's so unpredictable.
I'm actually going to speculate this time. Okay. And what I'm going to say is Cersei's going to act like Cersei. And she's going to act like it's some sort of trick or some stupid shit. Jaime's going to realize, holy shit.
That's a White Walker.
That's a White Walker. This shit's real. He's going to be the logical one because the only thing he's blinded by is his love for Cersei. Cersei's just batshit crazy. So she's going to make up any excuse for this not to be real, and maybe even go like, okay, we'll help or we'll have a complete armistice if you could declare me queen. Bend a knee.
Here's another thing.
That's the Cersei thing.
I'm going to go off of that a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because another thing, and I know this wasn't from the actual episode, this was from their little next week on the season finale thing. We saw the army for Daenerys and the Unsullied.
Yeah.
The Dothraki army and the Unsullied charging at a castle with Bronn and Jaime at the top.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance, and people are going to probably be like, well, duh, Ricky. But there might be a good chance Cersei goes, no, you're lying, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then Dany goes, what? And then it brings Dany back from here's the Night King to, like, I feel like she might be like, fuck it. Unsullied and Dothraki deal with this. I'm dealing with the Night King with Jon.
Yeah.
And she kind of splits it off that way. Because why would we see an attack from Daenerys onto a Lannister castle if the meeting goes well?
Yeah. No, I mean, unless
Let's be honest. If the meeting went well, that'd be boring.
Oh, no, unless they just actually are following Tyrion's plan. We got the dragon. You'll have the 2 dragons. He said, bring all your forces. So they're bringing the Unsullied. They're bringing the Dothraki. And
Cersei tries something at the meeting, is what you're saying?
Well, no, that's what Tyrion said. You know what?
It's clicking.
He's like, Cersei's might try something at the meeting. So if that's the thing, if you don't make it out, then they don't make it out. That's basically what he said.
They can't kill Dany.
I don't think they're going to kill Dany, but that's kind of having two.
But that's going to be the MO.
Basically having dragons, Unsullied, and Dothraki waiting outside is kind of a incentive of maybe we shouldn't kill Daenerys.
Yeah.
Because then they're just going to those dragons and everyone else are just going to level it.
That's a very good point. And
exactly.
I feel like now you bringing that up, Cersei may try something.
It's Cersei. Of course she's going
to. She's a character where, yes, some people will be like, no, you can tell what she's thinking. I can never tell what she's going to do.
No,
only Cersei knows what She's
going to try something. She's probably going to have some of those scorpions set up on the castle somewhere around it, just to for the dragon insurance type thing. But it's like, Cersei's going to at least have something planned even if it doesn't go through.
What do you think of Jon actually bending the knee? He didn't physically bend the knee.
Well, yeah, because he's healing.
He sort of bended the knee.
I'm actually not surprised, but it's kind of, I'm trying to think of how the word to use it. But he listened to Tormund Giantsbane.
He put it very
he put it very well.
He put it very frank to where it's basically like
that's how they are in the North.
You've been spending too much. Not even that. The free people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The North,
yeah. The beyond the wall. He basically said you've been spending too much time with the free folk.
Yeah.
You've been spending way too much time with us worrying about whose king is this, whose king is that, and it's like it kind of reminded me, go back to your roots. Well, go back to what you used to be.
No, because what he brought up is that they're all, the king of the true North, the king beyond the wall, refused to bend a knee.
True.
And he's like, and look what happened to his people for his pride. So it's like,
that's right.
Jon took that thought and was like, you know what? It's more about my people than my pride.
Now here's the thing. That's all great and stuff, thinking about that. But what's the North actually going to think when that word gets back?
They're probably gonna be pissed that Jon bent a knee.
What is Sansa gonna think? She's no longer the queen of the North if Jon bent a knee to Daenerys. She's the queen.
Sansa will not
I'm saying right now she's Queen Lady Winterfell because she's
Lady
technically
of Winterfell.
Queen of the North because Jon's off doing his own thing. But now that Jon's bent the knee to Daenerys, it's officially, once word gets back, it's basically, hey, Sansa, you're no longer controlling this shit. You answer to Daenerys.
Yeah. The other thing with that is that ruins Sansa's idea of I'm going to be queen.
And that ruins Littlefinger's plans.
Of getting to power. But I mean, that they could just lose the Knights of the Vale. They could lose the Mormonts too. Because Lady Mormont isn't going to be happy about that. She's the one that stood up for Jon.
Yeah.
She may not be happy about that.
Well, and also, not just that, they've mentioned in the Arya Sansa side arc that basically, I think it was Arya brought it up this week, where it was like, can you really trust these? Or was it Littlefinger? One of the people, or Brienne, one of the two. They were talking to Sansa. And basically, I think it was Brienne, now that I think about it, where it's like,
Brienne of Tarth.
Can you trust these people that were with Jon? They were against Jon, they were with Jon, now they're against Jon again. Can you really trust these flip-floppers?
Exactly.
Can you trust them? Because she was telling...
And she blatantly said you can't trust Littlefinger.
Yeah, you can't trust... I'm not leaving as long as he is by you, is what she said. And that to me is more important. Not just the... What will they think? Oh, they're going to be mad at Jon. No, the people of the North right now are very flip-floppy.
Yeah.
One week they like Jon, one week they like Sansa. One week they like Jon, then the next week they like Arya. It's like it changes each and every week.
Yeah.
And that was an important storyline in this episode is Arya and Sansa's. Because they had two key scenes where one, Arya kind of backtracking to her father a little bit, telling the story about how she was shooting the arrow and he was watching her, but he was saying that the rules were wrong. Not that she was wrong. She was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
The rules that were set in place were wrong. And then she brings up the note, and that part, us as fans were watching going, Arya, she was forced to do it, but Arya also to me brought up a good point of what did you do? You didn't do anything. And I liked it more of a point from Arya to say, what did you do? Because, I mean, people are going to say, well, you know what? Sansa couldn't do anything because if she tried to stand up, Joffrey would have just said, off with your head, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say that. But I really did not like when Sansa was like, well, what did you do? Like, I just thought of that as like the little kid mentality of like, well, what did you do? You didn't do anything either. That's what I fucking thought of.
Yeah, no, that's basically what it was.
And after this episode, I'll say it, I fucking hate Sansa.
Oh, yeah.
I hate her. Like, she is just like, oh, she makes me angry.
Well, I like how Arya played it back at her pretty well, though, by saying, so you're going to say that to, like, basically bring it up and say, what, are you going to say that to Lady Mormont?
Mm-hmm.
She's younger than you were when you had to write that note.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to accept that excuse?
Mm-hmm. Of like, I'm just a kid.
Exactly.
Because Lady Mormont is leading her house as a kid.
Yeah. As what, maybe 10 years old?
Yeah. She is leading her house as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Younger than with Sansa when she had to write the note.
Well, and I like how they're drawing back now to the I'm going to say the early seasons of where Arya was even like, hey, you know what? We wanted different things. You wanted to be queen in King's Landing next to a nice shining king and have all this lavish. And I wanted to go off to war.
I wanted to be a knight.
And I wanted to be a knight, just like father was.
Yep.
And the question that I asked you that I want to ask now just to let everyone in on it.
Yeah.
Based on what they were saying, because both of them have been through a lot, arguably, on their own. Mm-hmm. Arya with her living on her own, going through the trials of the many-faced God and everything she had to deal with there, and then just being out without any family, just isolation for Arya. But then you got Sansa's side, where, of course, she had to deal with Joffrey. Then she had to deal with Cersei and the Lannisters and them thinking that she killed Joffrey. Then she had to deal with Ramsay, where she was basically raped by Ramsay.
Yeah.
Here's the question I want to ask you. Either side, you can pick. Who's had it worse, Sansa or Arya?
Well, like I said, we kind of laid most of it on the table. I'm going to do a brief snippet of what they both went through again, just to clarify kind of like what I'm going along with.
Okay.
So Sansa, set to marry Joffrey, dumped for that, but kept in the palace. Sort of prisoner-esque, but like...
Has to deal with Cersei.
Has to deal with Cersei, but only on a verbally abusive level.
It's all psychological.
Well, yeah, exactly. Verbally and psychologically abusive level. But it's not like Cersei was that horrible to her other than calling her a traitor or like that you were related to traitors.
Thinking that she basically killed her son.
Yeah. Well, that's before that.
Yeah.
Then when she's forced to marry Tyrion, and then they both have to run off in two separate directions. After that, before she was with Ramsay, something happened to her. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I know that she was with her mom in the Vale for a while.
Yeah, no, her aunt in the Vale.
Yeah, her aunt in the Vale with Littlefinger.
Littlefinger. And then kind of a aunt was a little batshit crazy as well over Littlefinger.
Just sent her off.
Sent her off, but that was... No, Littlefinger sent her off because her aunt...
she was jealous.
Her aunt went through the moon roof. Or the moon door.
Before that, the aunt was jealous of Sansa because the aunt was always jealous of Catelyn.
He sent her away, and then she went through the moon door. And then she went to Ramsay.
Yeah.
Where she got married to him and raped by him. And honestly, I see that as a lesser honestly, than what Arya went through. Because
you're going to get a lot... I feel like you're going to get a few people... that are against you on that point, but I want to hear you out.
Well,
I'm kind of leaning the same way that Arya had to go through.
Arya had to go through hell and back, honestly, because she did get some help from people she didn't even know, but honestly, it was worse than Sansa. Sansa, at least when she was in the castle, up until the point where Joffrey died, lived in some at least had decent measures of living.
Arya's always been on her own in basically the wild.
Yeah, I mean, she was she had to pretend to be a boy from like day one of being on her own. She was sold into slavery for a brief time, where luckily she met the many-faced man, and he owed her a favor. I think it was right.
Yes,
something that happened
because she sailed then up to their place
eventually.
Yeah. And eventually she went through those
after
trials.
A bunch of adventures of having to deal with that.
She was with the Hound for a brief period.
Yep, she had to deal with the Hound for a brief period. Like, kind of yelled at her a lot. The same again.
Yeah.
More so.
But that I think was beneficial to
That
Arya.
was beneficial. It made her a stronger person. Yes. I mean, I'll say this: it did make her a much stronger person than Sansa is. But the fact is, I think she went through worse. She went as blind for a while too.
She did when she was going through the trials for the many-faced guy.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, eventually things are like okay for her now. She learned to be on her own. But hell, that she like went through hell and back for what she got finally. Like it was a huge payoff.
And the thing that when their final meeting and when Sansa finds the faces and are like, what are these? What are them? I loved when Arya was like, you know, before I became a many-faced person, I played a game. I ask you a question, you try to disguise a lie and a truth, and trick me into believing you.
If I believe on your lies, you win.
And I love how she went right to it. Do you believe Jon should be king? Who do you believe should rule the North? And Sansa just dodging the question, asking her questions. And
nice little lesson from Littlefinger.
I love when Arya's like, are you sure you want to do that? The last time I played this game and someone asked me questions, it didn't end well for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, Arya on some savage level.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing I want to ask you. Why do you think she handed Sansa the dagger?
Because I think part of it's I'm not afraid of you, Sansa. Like, basically go ahead and try something. But I think this is a huge scare tactic.
Just trying to fuck with Sansa's head?
Not try and fuck with her head per se, but like, I know when you're bullshit. Basically to say, I know when you're bullshitting me. I know when you're being full of shit and you can't fool me. But the other thing is, I'm not sure exactly why she handed her the dagger. That one I have really no hypothesis on.
Here's another thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
I
want to state one thing real quick.
Go ahead.
When I was going through those things, I'm not downing anything about rape being bad.
Yeah.
But we're going over between the two of them.
And I mean, really.
I just wanted to state that for anyone watching that's going to be, how dare you say that? I'm like, no.
Each side has their own to that.
Exactly.
Each side has their own. I get this feeling with Sansa that she's just, I mean, I don't want to be stereotypical here, but like at this point in the episodes, she's just a whiny bitch. That's all she is. And like Arya, like I love Arya as a character.
Yeah.
Maybe because like I've mentioned before with me and like how my family is, I'm used to women like my mom and my aunt that speak their mind and won't take shit from anyone. So that's why I kind of levitate over to characters like Arya, who are females that I'm not taking shit from anyone. I'm not going to take shit from you just because you're my sister. One of the last things I wanted to bring up, though, is the Tyrion Dany thing.
Yes.
Only because I mentioned to you during the episode of, she says like, oh, I trust you. That's why I made you my hand. But then she'll come back and ask him questions where it's like, do you really fucking, do you fucking trust him? Or are you just saying you trust him because you want him on your side so that you can use him?
I think part of it, I think she does trust him to a degree. It's just like, this is a real, like she maybe, I don't know if she 100% understands that. That's his family.
Yeah.
As much as he hates Cersei, he still has
he has nothing against Jaime.
No, he has brotherly bonds with Jaime. And it's like, well, you can't blame him for wanting to keep his family alive, or at least Jaime, because that's all he has. I mean, yeah, he's got you as his queen. He's got people he knows, but that's his blood. And then, like, how hard it was, and you can see it on his face, sort of, when he's looking at all the dead Lannisters from when Dany just wiped them all out. excuse me, it was hard for him to take in because it's like he may have known a lot of those guys.
Well, he was just standing there watching.
Exactly. And now he's maybe known as, like, thought of as, and he actually is thought of, never mind, it's not maybe. He's thought of as a traitor to the Lannisters.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I get the idea of, like, my reaction watching it is like do you really trust him?
Right.
Do you? Because you say one thing, but then your actions, more so like your unplanned out thoughts, say another thing. Also, you know what I can't wait for? Whether it's next week or in the future, this episode we got a ton of Dany saying, "I can't bear children. I can't bear children." I can't wait until Bran tells Jon that he's a Targaryen, and then we can end this sexual tension that shouldn't fucking be there between Dany and Jon, and Dany can go, "No, you get yourself a queen, because when I die, you take over, and then your kid takes over for you." Why the hell would Jon, after learning he's a Targaryen, stay with someone who can't have kids? Unless it only takes a Targaryen to have kids with the Targaryen.
That would be sort of like a Lannister sounding thing, and I mean,
which is wrong because a Targaryen actually had sex with a Stark and made Jon.
Exactly.
So it's not like that. It's just I can't wait until he finds out. But
I can't. Yeah, no, I agree. I cannot wait until because here's the other thing that brings like a little wrench into there. He bent a knee to Dany.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to bend a knee because he's the rightful heir.
He doesn't.
Dany's
have to
not.
bend.
He is.
Well, because he is Rhaegar's child,
who was next in line.
He is the rightful heir to the throne. But I want to throw it on to you guys. We're getting towards the end. The camera's going to say, "Nope, you can't record past this." And I feel like we've exhausted everything to talk about in this episode.
Not a ton of topics, but a ton to talk about.
I want you guys to continue the conversation down below in the comment section. What did you think of the episode? Was there anything? What shocked you? What do you think's coming up in the future? And also, if there's anything you disagree on with us, let us know down below in the comment section. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. We will be back next week for the season finale reactions. And as always, have a good day, everybody.